Bros Global TV. My name is Christiana Babayo. Before we begin, here are the headlines. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu departs Abuja for state visit to Turkey. Kano State Commissioner for Science and Technology resigns over ideological differences. Troops arrest 65-year-old woman over alleged drug supply to Boko Haram terrorists. Kano government cautions supporters against attacks on Kwankwaso. Peter Obi slams fresh national grid collapse, describe it as a shame. Rivers lawmaker criticizes President Tinubu's aide for attacking Wike. Kaduna Governor Ubasani denies media restriction claims. And now the news in full. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has departed Abuja on Monday, January 26th for an official state visit to the Republic of Turkey, the Nigerian presidency confirmed. The trip underscores Abuja's intent to deepen diplomatic relations and strategic cooperation with Ankara. According to a statement from the Presidential Communications team, the visit is intended to strengthen long-standing bilateral ties and explore expanded cooperation in critical areas such as security, education, social development, innovation, aviation, trade and investment. High-level discussions with Turkish counterparts are expected to cover these sectors. The timing of President Tinubu's departure follows a previous state visit by Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan to Nigeria in October 2021, setting a foundation for more targeted engagements this week. Nigerian officials are expected to finalize and sign memoranda of understanding in areas including scientific research, energy, technical cooperation, media and communications, as well as military cooperation and protocol arrangements. A business forum bringing together investors from both nations will accompany the official engagements aimed at boosting economic linkages. President Tinubu is scheduled to return to Abuja upon completion of the state visit, with details of meetings and agreements to be released in official communiques following his discussions in Ankara. Dr. Yusuf Ibrahim Kofarmata, Commissioner for Science, Technology and Innovation in Kano State, has resigned his appointment from the Kano State Executive Council, citing fundamental ideological differences with the current administration. In his resignation letter, the former commissioner stated that he could no longer serve under Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf's government, which he believes has strayed from the political ideology that originally brought the administration into power. His decision follows Governor Yusuf's former resignation from the New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP), a shift that Kofarmata says conflicted with the ideological principles he upholds. Dr. Kofarmata, a non-loyalist of the NNPP national leader, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, framed his departure as a matter of personal conviction and conscience. He thanked the party leadership, government officials, and citizens of Kano for their support during his tenure. Political analysts say the commissioner's exit highlights broader tensions within Kano State's political landscape, especially as power alignments shift ahead of the 2027 general elections. Troops of the Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hatinkai have arrested a 65-year-old woman, Hawa Abdulaziz, for allegedly supplying illicit drugs to Boko Haram terrorists in Borno State. The arrest is part of ongoing military efforts to disrupt logistics and criminal support networks fueling insurgency in the northeast. According to a statement by the Media Information Officer of the Joint Task Force, Lieutenant Colonel Sani Uba, troops acted on credible intelligence on January 23, 2026, apprehending Abdulaziz in Askira Uba local government area. Investigators allege she sourced cannabis sativa from Sarti Barua, a local government area in Taraba State, and transported it along established routes for distribution to terrorists operating in multiple communities. During the operation, security forces recovered 14 compressed blocks of cannabis sativa with a total estimated weight of about 30 kilograms, a significant seizure that authorities say would help weaken Boko Haram's funding and operational capacity. The suspect is currently in military custody and undergoing preliminary investigations. Security analysts note that tackling the financial and material supply chains that sustain terrorist groups is critical to broader counter-insurgency efforts in the region. The Kano state government has issued a stern warning to supporters of Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf to refrain from making inflammatory or insulting remarks towards Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, the national leader of the New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP) and a central figure in the Kwankwasia political movement. The caution was delivered by Sanusi Bature Danwankin Tofa, Director General of Media and Publicity at Government House during a motorcycle distribution event at the Open Space Theatre, Government House, Kano. He emphasized that acts of disrespect or indiscipline directed at Kwankwaso would attract disciplinary consequences and are unacceptable, regardless of current political developments following recent realignments. Tofa described Kwankwaso as a political leader whose contributions to Kano State's politics must be acknowledged and respected. He urged supporters of the governor to exercise restraint and maturity, especially amid heightened political tensions linked to Governor Yusuf's resignation from the NNPP and shifts within the state's political landscape. The government underscored that political disagreements should not degenerate into personal attacks and reiterated its commitment to maintaining peace, unity, and discipline among its supporters.
We will now go on a short break, and when we come back, the news will continue. Stay tuned.
The Papyrus Global, we don't just cover events, we create cinematic experiences. From red carpets to birthdays, gala dinners, and your fairy tale weddings, we bring your moments to life with high-tech precision. Our gadgets are smarter, our lenses sharper, and our team simply world-class. Trust the Papyrus Global to tell your story in the boldest, brightest way possible.
Welcome back, and now the news will continue.
Former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has sharply criticized the latest collapse of Nigeria's national electricity grid, calling it a national shame and a symptom of enduring governance failures in the power sector. In a statement posted on X on Saturday, 24 January, titled 2026, The Collapse Continues, Obi noted that the grid failure recorded in late January 2026 mirrored several breakdowns from the previous year. He pointed out that January 2025 also saw the first collapse of the year, which was then followed by multiple subsequent failures. Obi lamented that for 3 consecutive years, from 2023 to 2025, Nigeria has been ranked among countries with the lowest access to electricity in the world, leaving nearly 100 million citizens without power. He highlighted the stark contrast between Nigeria's electricity output and that of other African nations, saying countries like South Africa and Egypt, with significantly smaller populations, generate and distribute over 40,000 megawatts of power, while Nigeria, despite being the continent's most populous nation with over 240 million people, produces roughly 5,000 megawatts. Obi attributed the persistent grid collapses and inadequate power generations to ongoing leadership shortcomings. According to him, the power sector requires competent and committed leadership to function effectively and meet the country's developmental needs. A member of the House of Representatives representing Abua Odual Aoda East Federal Constituency, Honorable Solomon Bob, has publicly rebuked Mr. Daniel Bwala, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Special Advisor on Policy Communication, over statements perceived as undermining Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Nyesom Wike. In a strongly worded statement on Sunday, 25th January, Honorable Bob said the presidential aide's remarks reportedly made during a television interview were unwarranted, malicious, and driven by premeditated bile, and accused him of distorting facts about Mr. Wike's role and performance in government. The role stems from comments attributed to Mr. Bwala in which he suggested that Wike had been adequately compensated by the federal government and implied that the FCT minister had interfered with governance in Rivers State. Bob describes such claims as inaccurate and unfair, arguing they misrepresent Wike's contributions and portray public service as a vehicle for personal gain rather than national development. Bob further rejected the suggestion that Wike was hindering Governor Siminalayi Fubara's ability to govern Rivers State, saying it reflected a lack of judgment and was beyond the purview of Bwala's official responsibilities. He also challenged the notion that Bwala spoke on behalf of the president in the dispute, stressing that the aide did not hold the mandate to articulate administration policy on the matter. Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani has denied allegations that his administration sought to suppress media coverage or intimidate journalists following the mass abduction in parts of the state, and has directed an official investigation into the incidents. Governor Sani's clarification came after reports circulated suggesting that state authorities had restricted media access and attempted to control narratives around the abductions. In a statement, the governor described such claims as unfounded, affirming the government's commitment to press freedom while acknowledging the serious nature of the abduction incidents. According to the statement, the state government has initiated a formal probe to uncover the full circumstances of the mass abduction, which involved worshippers and residents in parts of Kaduna, and to support security agencies in bringing the perpetrators to account. Though details remain under verification, the governor stressed that transparency and accountability will guide the investigation. Sani also reassured the public that no directive was issued to muzzle journalists or hinder reporting, emphasizing that the government recognizes the essential role of the media in informing citizens, especially during security crises. And that's all we have on the news update on Papyrus Global TV. I am Christiana Babayo. Thanks for joining us.